Yeah, there's a number of things that can be done. And it does depend on where that particular Aboriginal person is coming from, because as I've said many times, there's many different Aboriginal cultures across Australia. And some are still have a strong family relationship. Some Aboriginal people today might be just, in Western mode and in total independence mode. And so it does depend on that a little bit. But especially in an Aboriginal community, if you're coming in to employ people or employ people from a traditional Aboriginal community or community that still speaks their own language, all that sort of thing, or speaks even Aboriginal English, one of the things you should do is get important members of the family involved in the initial employment discussions, because there's a lot of confusion out there about where money comes from, even where businesses get their money from. A lot of traditional people believe that it just all comes from the government. The government provides all the money for everything. And so if you're having that employment interview with new employees, you should say to them, who are some of the most important people in your family that you'd like to have in on the conversation around your roles and responsibilities. For some mining companies, for instance, they might provide housing for people. And if the rallies and everyone think that all the housing is for free and all the food that's in the fridge is free and everything else like that, I think it's all provided by the mining company, then that person being employed might have great difficulty stopping an uncle or other relatives just helping themselves. But if that uncle's involved in the first employment meetings, and it's spelt out that the only thing that the employee is getting is their wage, then that just makes it so much easier for that employee, for the company to create a connection between that employee themselves and the uncle or the other important person or persons in that young person's life, so that if there's problems, they can give them a yell and have a family meeting rather than just an employee meeting around issues that might rise in the workplace. Because it's a different cultural setting and families have much more important role than what we see in Western society, where it's always the individual. In community, it's more the community. And we have to realise that employee is coming from a community which has a different social etiquette, which has a different, even traditional law might have a different legal system that's not recognised by the mainstream. And so it's important to have good communication networks, just not with the individual, but with their family networks. That's one of the most important things you could do. And it'll have massive good effects on employees coming and staying at the job and being able to stay there, knowing that their family knows what they're on about and what their responsibilities are, and also what any benefits that are coming to them is clearly understood. Even in some of those meetings, they might say, well, how can we help this person maybe not get sponged on by other members of the wider community, thinking that that person's now got access to millions of dollars, not just to their wage, but to everything. That can even be talked out, and a special account or whatever can even be set up with the help of the uncle to protect the nephew, because the uncle will want to protect the nephew and protect their ongoing employment.